So, what's up? Welcome back to Discovering Nicole. That would be me, your girl, Discovering Nicole. Yesterday, I did a live and we were talking about Suboxone. And for those of you guys that are new here, I've been on Suboxone for almost 9 years. I work for a Suboxone doctor, and I also work for a Suboxone telehealth provider website. So, I have a lot of experience with Suboxone. Yesterday, while we were live, I was telling you guys that I would do a tips and tricks of the trade Suboxone edition. So, if you guys are on Suboxone and you have any questions, I want to encourage you to come on in, ask any questions you have. I'm going to be doing like a rosy colored eye look with this row right here in this Morphe palette. So, come on in, chill out with me for a little bit, watch me do my makeup, and talk about subs. So, like I said, I've been on Suboxone for almost 9 years, and it single-handedly helped save my life. I was raised up in a very religious household. My mother raised us up in Pentecostal church, and so, and I live in the Bible Belt. I live in Arkansas, which is in the South. And so, a lot of the things that I learned about addiction and recovery were things like pray, meditate, read your big book, go to meetings, and those are all not evidence-based treatments. Those are faith-based treatments, okay? So for many years, I struggled with addiction, and I had no hope in sight, right? Like, I felt like I was never going to get sober, you guys. I would get sober, stay sober for like a month or two, 4 months, 5 months. I think the longest I've ever made it is 6 months. And then I would relapse every single time. And I did that from 2000 and, from about 2005, that's when I first started trying to get sober, until 2015 when I finally did get sober. And so you can imagine how discouraging it was going in and out of all these residential recovery treatment programs, all these different rehabs. Good morning, everybody. It's really discouraging. I felt like a failure. I felt like I'm never going to get it. It fucking sucked, bro. It fucking sucked. So I finally gave Suboxone a try in 2015 when Nate got taken away from me. For those of you guys that don't know, my little boy got taken away from me by Child Protective Services because my best friend called CPS on me. My best friend that I did drugs with, my drug friend, okay? She was mad at me. We got into a fight. So she called CPS on me. Okay? It fucking sucked. I don't believe in doing that to people when they're struggling with addiction. I don't believe calling CPS on people and having their children taken away. I don't believe that that is conducive to help somebody get sober. I believe that a lot of the times it does the direct opposite to that person, and they end up going back farther into their addiction. And please excuse my fire alarm, you guys. It just went out in the middle of the night last night, and I'm not tall enough to change it. So, okay, sucks. So anyway, Nate got taken away from me. I went into rehab because that's the only way I knew how. I went into rehab. I did 30 days in rehab. Neil was out doing outpatient, okay? He was out in the real world doing outpatient, and when I got out of treatment after 30 days, Neil had gotten on Suboxone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so upset with him. I was like, how are you going to do that? You're just trying to stay high. Let me mute my notifications real fast, you guys. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to mute my notifications. You know, I thought, oh, you're just trying to stay high. You don't really care about getting sober. I was like really upset with him that he was on Suboxone, because I had only heard these horrible, horrible stories about methadone and Suboxone, and how they're just really there to keep you high, and how can you get sober and use these medications, right? I had all the wrong information. So for the next week or so, my husband was on Suboxone, and he was doing so good, you guys. And that's what made me like really curious, because he wasn't nodding out, he wasn't high, he was regular. And I didn't know you could be regular on Suboxone. I didn't know that you could take this medication and not be fucked up on it, because I had always only used it whenever I was coming off opiates and getting fucked up. So I had this horrible idea of it. Well, I finally decided to give Suboxone a try. My husband talked me into going to the doctor, and I went to the doctor and met with him. And I remember my doctor sitting me down, and he looked at me and he said, "Why do you keep doing the same thing? Why do you keep going to rehabs and doing AA if you haven't been able to stay sober with these programs for the last 10 years?" Nobody had ever really sat me down and made me think about that. Nobody had ever asked me that before. People just told me that that's what I was supposed to do, and I was following directions. He was like, "Why do you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Why haven't you changed your treatment plan?" And you know what I was thinking in my mind? How come all of these clinicians, how come all these therapists, how come all these psychiatrists, how come all these counselors that I have seen over the last 10 years in and out of rehabs, how come none of these people brought up a different plan for me? How come nobody said, "Hey, Nicole, this is your 7th time at our treatment center, and this pathway just isn't working for you, dear. You should look into this." You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because putting me on medication-assisted treatment would eliminate me from being a lifelong customer in the rehab hamster wheel. And so if I got on Suboxone, I wouldn't be frequenting the rehab centers every year like I was with my fucking insurance, PPO insurance. Therefore, they don't make money. And this is why I think it's so funny when people try to say that I'm a body broker, because I literally despise rehab. I think it is such a waste of time and money, and I think that seldom people benefit from it. But anyway, I digress. If I was on Suboxone, I wouldn't be going in and out of the recovery program that they offered anymore. So anyways, the doctor tells me this. He asked me the question. The question really makes me think, right? The question really makes me think about, why haven't I been given other options? Why haven't I been told about other options? And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to try something different. I want to try this other option. And that's when I got on Suboxone, and it saved my life. Now, you might be somebody who's just getting started on your Suboxone journey. And if that's you, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole Pludre. I've been on Suboxone for almost 9 years, and it helped save my life. I've been sober 9 years, July 13th of 2015. I love talking about drugs, addiction, recovery, and so much more. The first side effect that I got when I got on Suboxone, honey, was constipation. Constipation, honey. Constipation, honey. And let me just tell y'all something. I hate being constipated. I hate it. Okay? So, how did I get unconstipated. Now I'm going to tell you all my tricks, okay? So, first and foremost, it is so important for you to make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. If you are not drinking plenty of water, then you are going to be constipated all the time. You have to stay hydrated. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you have to include fiber in your diet. You have to. If you are not eating fiber, leafy greens, then you are going to be constipated. Okay? Okay. Next, some people need a little help in their journey. Miralax every evening with a big cup of water is a great place to start because it's gentle on your stomach. For me, I do Miralax sometimes. I don't have to do it every day because I poop regularly now. But at first, I had to drink it every day. That with Miralax with plenty of water and a probiotic. Probiotics are so important as well. This is the NYX Glitter Glue. And I would use that, and that has helped me so fucking much, you guys. And that's how I stay regular. Now, another side effect that I would get with Suboxone at first was sweating. Oh my gosh, I would sweat till the cows came home. The way that I was able to stop sweating was I went down on my dose. So I was on 12 milligrams when I first started. And I noticed around the 4 milligram mark is where the sweating starts to dissipate for me. So if you're somebody who's like, I just can't stand the sweating, this is driving me insane, tapering on your dose will definitely help you with that. We're going to use this color, which is like so beautiful. You'll see in just a second how pretty it is, you guys. Some people tell me that their dose does not last them through the day. Okay? Welcome to the tips and tricks of the trade. So if you are struggling with your dose lasting you through the day, and please let me tell y'all, I am not a doctor. I'm just a person who takes Suboxone. So please, take what I say with a grain of salt and always consult your physician. So if your dose isn't lasting you through the day, let's say you're on 8 milligrams, okay? That's like a normal, 8 milligrams is like a normal dose that a lot of people are on. What I would do if I were you, and this has helped me so much in the past, is I would take 4 milligrams in the morning, and then around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I would take the other 4 milligrams. And that is how you make your dose last you. Split dosing for the win, baby. And a lot of people do this. A lot of people split dose, okay? I wouldn't split dose over 3 times a day. So what do I mean by that? I mean, I wouldn't take a dose more than 3 times a day. If you have 8 milligrams and you want to split it for like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner dose, you could do 2 milligrams in the morning, 2 milligrams in the afternoon, and then 4 milligrams in the evening. Okay? But I wouldn't do it more than that, because more than that, it becomes like kind of like teeter-tottering in a bad habit, But split dosing helps so much, and I think you will probably prefer it. I know I did. Let me think, what else helps me? So, a lot of people commented yesterday about Sublocade. For those of you guys that don't know what Sublocade is a once-a-month injection of buprenorphine. Okay? Buprenorphine is the active ingredient in Suboxone. All right? Sublocade is a shot that you can get injected. A lot of people are using it to get off of Suboxone. I had a couple of comments of people saying that you can't get on Sublocade unless you're on 8 milligrams of Suboxone. That's not entirely true. You can get on a smaller, you can be put on Sublocade on a smaller dose of Suboxone. You just have to find a doctor that will work with you. Okay? So my friend Kevin from Kickin' Addiction, shout out Kickin' Addiction. If y'all haven't watched his channel, all you gotta do is type in Kickin' Addiction and it'll pull him up. My friend Kevin was on like 2 to 4 milligrams of Suboxone and transferred on to Sublocade. His doctor adjusted the dose for him. So you can do that. You just have to find a doctor that will work with you on adjusting your dose. Okay? Okay. A lot of people were also asking me, why does Suboxone have naloxone in it? And this is the simple answer. The only reason why naloxone is with Suboxone is to deter people from abusing it. Okay? That's the only reason. It's supposed to deter people from abusing it. All right? The naloxone in Suboxone, it doesn't do anything. It's inactive. Okay? The active ingredient that does all the work in Suboxone is buprenorphine. Buprenorphine is what keeps you from being able to feel other opioids. If you decided to go out and relapse and take a hydrocodone, you wouldn't feel it because buprenorphine has a higher affinity to your opioid receptors. Okay? So basically, the naloxone is just there to keep people from abusing it. Okay? Okay. What other questions did I see that y'all put on there yesterday? Y'all put some good questions on there. And I know all this. I'm not telling you guys that I know this stuff. This is my bread and butter. Okay? I know Suboxone. All right? There's no, oh, that's not true, Nicole. No, I know this. This is all true. This is all facts. Suboxone was actually created to treat, buprenorphine was created to treat acute pain first, before it was ever used to help people with opiate addiction. It was used by the chronic pain community first. It is a great medication to help people that have pain. When it's in a different delivery system is what I've noticed that people prefer it more in like a patch form for pain management. And I actually follow a girl on TikTok who is on Suboxone patches for pain, buprenorphine patches for pain. So it can definitely help people that have pain. A lot of people in the pain management community are afraid of Suboxone. They don't like it because they know it's used to treat people that have addiction. But buprenorphine is strong. It's a very strong medication. It's not for the faint at heart. Okay. That's why I can be on such a small dose and be fine. Because buprenorphine is really, really strong. Okay. So, I'm trying to think of what else people ask me. People always ask me, like, why am I still on Suboxone? Why don't I just get off of it if I've been able to stay sober for this long? And to those people that ask me that question, I can't understand why people can't see why I stay on it. It's because that's why I stay on it, because it has helped me stay sober for so long. To me, I'm thinking I shouldn't make drastic changes that could affect me in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? So, do I plan on coming off of it anytime in the near future? Not in the next year or so. Maybe after that, maybe a year from now, a year or two from now, when I want to get all my weight that I'm trying to lose off of me, and then I will look into titrating off of Suboxone, because I want to get totally healthy. You know, that's the plan. What other tips and tricks do I know about Suboxone? Oh, if you hate the taste of Suboxone, so many people tell me, like, I cannot take it, Nicole. It makes me throw up. I swallow mine because I can't let it sit underneath my tongue because it tastes so bad. I totally understand. I hate the taste too. A great alternative would be Zubsolve. Zubsolve is a different name brand of Suboxone, and it is minty flavored. And it's a lot smaller of a pill as well. And it works just as good as the Suboxone does. So Zubsolve, it's Zubsolv. Zubsolve. Me and my husband used to be on it. And it was great. It was great. No issues. So, let me show y'all. Do we think it looks good? So, okay, let's get the black eyeliner for the top of my eyeball. I had a good time chit-chatting with y'all yesterday, and y'all got to hear Neil share some stories as well. My husband has been, addicted to opioids for longer than I was. And his addiction to opioids actually started because of an injury. He actually jumped off of a cliff into the water. Trying to sharpen my pencil. Hold on, you guys. Into the water at a lake and hurt his back. And so that's how his addiction started. Was he was prescribed pain pills for that. And then he got addicted to them, like at 17 years old. And he started, and so my husband, when I met him, was on he used to get prescribed oxys. I mean, he's been on so many different pain pills. It was crazy. But he became an addict because he was, like I said, abusing them, shooting them up, doing all the stuff that you're not supposed to do, You know the deal. So that's how Neil's addiction started. It started from his pain management. And, Neil's a good man. Y'all heard him yesterday. He takes such good care of me and my son, our son. It's his son too. He's a good man. I love my husband. He's my best friend. He is my best friend. And yes, my 4-hour alarm thing is going off. I can't reach it, you guys. So pissed. Trying to think of any other tips and tricks I have for you guys, or questions that I've seen y'all asking about subs. Because like I said, this is my bread and butter. This is like everything I know so much about Suboxone. There's new medications out that are buprenorphine based medications. There's a new one called Brixadia that people can take. There's all kinds of new technology happening with medication assisted treatment. I follow a girl on TikTok. Her name is Marie, and she did Sublocade. She did Sublocade for, about 9 months, I think. And she has been off of Sublocade now for a year. And she is still testing positive for it. So that's how slowly Sublocade leaves your system. That's why if you guys have insurance, if you have insurance and you can get switched from your Suboxone to Sublocade, if you want to get off of it, I would do that because, it's kind of expensive to pay out of pocket for the shot on your own. That's why I say if you have insurance. But if you can get on the Sublocade shot, you could get off Suboxone so easy. So many of my friends have done it like that. So many, tons of my friends have done it like that. And now they're completely off of everything. And they're still testing positive for bupe. That's how long it stays in their system, even after they stopped taking the shots. Isn't that crazy? A lot of people judge people that are on Suboxone, and they say things like, I think I asked a question yesterday on TikTok, and I said, why? Why do people have such an issue with me saying that I'm sober on Suboxone? And somebody commented and said, because so you're not sober, you're taking a narcotic, right? And I was like, okay, so, but to me, being sober is, well, basically to me, being sober is not drinking alcohol. That's what being sober to me is. Okay. Then there's the word clean that people always want to throw in and say, well, you're not clean because you take medication. Well, I don't know anybody that's clean. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to take some kind of medication, But basically, the reason why it bothers people is because they feel like I'm saying that I'm something I'm not. And I'm like, but how does that affect you? Like, if I want to say that I'm sober, then you should just be glad that I'm not shooting drugs. It doesn't affect your life at all, But some people, it bothers them so much. Like, they comment on all my videos to tell me that I'm not sober. And I keep saying that I'm sober. So it's not like it's going to change. Like, you saying that to me, you coming on my account saying you're not sober. When I say that I am, I've been saying it for fucking how many years now? It's not going to change it. I'm not going to stop saying it. So it's like, there's just one guy here on YouTube in particular. I think his name is Matt. He always comments on my Suboxone videos to tell me that I'm not sober. And I just can't imagine, like, seeing somebody that is thriving in recovery, that is proud of their accomplishments, that is, oh God, I didn't put anything on my mouth. I just put on this lip liner. That is proud of their accomplishments, that is smiling and happy and talking about recovery. I can't imagine seeing somebody like that and then going, you're not sober. So to me, sobriety, it has a lot to do with, like, your healing your mind. And it really doesn't have much to do with the substances that you're taking. Because I know people that are off all substances, and they're some of the most miserable, fucked up people I've ever met in my whole entire life. They're 13-steppers, they're liars, and all kinds of shit, And so, that's why, like, I think sobriety is more about you changing your behaviors and becoming a better person. Like, I'm not shooting dope anymore, right? I used to shoot dope every day, all day, until the cows came home, and couldn't even function or be a part of my family because of my addiction. Okay. And so now I'm able to be a part of my family. I'm able to function. I'm able to be depended on. I have a full-time job. And so to me, that's what differentiates, me from Nicole in active addiction and Nicole in recovery and sober, Also, I think it's really important for people to understand that, when you've been on Suboxone for 9 years, like I have, you're not feeling high from it. I don't get a euphoric feeling from it at all. I don't have any kind of weird feelings from it, Sorry, Charles, I'm married. I think a lot of people think that when we take our medication that we're, like, getting high or something, And that's just not how it is. When you've been on this medication for at least 2 weeks, you don't feel anything. It's just, it levels out in your system and you feel like a normal person. And that's how I felt ever since about, like I said, the second week of being prescribed it. Um, I don't get like a head change when I take it or anything like that. I just feel regular. I just feel regular. Um, but it helps so much with my mental health, like not being depressed. Um, and I don't have any cravings at all. I haven't craved an opioid in years. Like, I don't even remember what it would be like to crave an opioid, you know? Um, and that's because of Suboxone. Suboxone has saved my life. Look how beautiful my eyes look, you guys. I told y'all are going to love these eyeshadows. Just like I live in Arkansas. Just like a person, no, I'm not going to switch to Sublocade. No. Just like a person who takes medication for their diabetes, which I take medication for my diabetes. Just like a person who takes medication for diabetes, Suboxone is a medication that is used to treat an illness. Okay, and if it helps you, then don't be ashamed. You know, that's basically why I started sharing my story online, you guys, was because I wanted people to understand that just because your recovery looks different than what you have been taught for so many years, and like I said yesterday, the years of abstinence only recovery are dead and gone. It's from Touch of Glam Beauty, Lulu. Touch of Glam Beauty. They're the hollows. Look up Touch of Glam Beauty, and then just type in HOLO on their website. Yes. Aren't they gorgeous? I know you're like, they're stunning, aren't they? They are fucking stunning. I know, girl. I know. So anyway, sorry, I'm like really getting hot and heavy about my eyes because the glitter in these eyeshadows is fucking gorgeous. But I thought about switching to Vivitrol, but was scared to come off subs for a week. Yeah, so Sierra, you would have to come completely off Suboxone, probably for at least 10 days before switching to Vivitrol, because it takes so long for your body to get cleared of the buprenorphine that if you started that too early, it would make you so fucking sick. So 10 days would be the best thing to do. Stay to be off of it as long as you can before you start the Vivitrol. And I'm going to tell you guys, like I work for a doctor's office, and we see people who come in and get off of Suboxone and onto Vivitrol all the time. And I am going to tell you guys, most of the people, I would probably say 7 out of 10 people who come in to get switched to Vivitrol end up going back on to Suboxone. Because they get onto Vivitrol and it just doesn't do the same thing that Suboxone does. Because it doesn't have an opioid in it. I'm just being frank with you. You know? If Vivitrol works for you, I'm so happy for you. Because for a lot of people, it's just like, you know, no, you don't have to wait to transition to Sublocade. You can go directly on to Sublocade from your Suboxone with a doctor. And that's what makes it so amazing, is that you can transition straight to it. Because Sublocade, and I'm so sorry about my fire alarm, you guys. I put in a work order. I cannot get up there to get it fixed, so I had to put in a work order. I'm so sorry. That drives me insane. Thank you. Thanks, Jaden. So I apologize. Sublocade is a once-a-month injection of buprenorphine. They give it to you in your subcutaneous fat on your stomach. It's like a little, it's like they put a little doot in there, and it's like a little round ball of gel, and it just releases into your system over a 30-day period. They have 300 milligram shots and 100 milligram shots. But there are some doctors out there who will take those shots and squirt some out and adjust it, because there's people that are on less than 8 milligrams that want to get on Sublocade. And so that's what I was telling you guys earlier. My friend Kevin from Kickin' Addiction, he got on Sublocade, and he was on like 2 or 4 milligrams of Suboxone when he did it. Okay? So, boop, boop, boop. That's the route that I would go. I wouldn't even fuck with Vivitrol. I would go straight on Sublocade. If you want to get off of Suboxone, if your sole purpose is to come off of it, I would transition onto the Sublocade shot, and then I would take at least 3 to 4 shots of Sublocade, which is about 3 or 4 months worth, and then I would discontinue. That's what my friend Diana did. So I'll tell y'all a quick story about my friend Diana. She has given me permission to share her story, so no worries there. A girl reached out to me back in 2021, in March of 2021. Her name was Diana, and she reached out to me through Dr. B's office. She called because she needed help. She wanted to get on Suboxone because she was struggling with addiction to fentanyl. And so she didn't have any money. She didn't have any money to pay for her treatment. So I called Dr. B, and I was like, hey, there's this girl. Her name's Diana. She just called. She has 3 young children. She's a mom, just like me, and she's working, but she's really struggling. She doesn't have enough money to pay for her first appointment. Can we spot her the money? Can we pay for it for her? And Dr. B was like, what do you think? Do you think that she's going to be serious about her sobriety? And do you think she's going to put in the work? And I was like, I 100% believe that she's going to. And Dr. B was like, okay, well, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want to pay for, if you want to pro bono her treatment, then we'll do it. So I made the decision to do her treatment pro bono, her first month's treatment. So she came in and she started Suboxone. She did Suboxone for about 6 months, and then she transferred over to the Sublocade shot. She took about 4 or 5 Sublocade shots, and then she stopped taking the shot, and she's been sober ever fucking since. And she's in college to become a damn nurse. She's literally in RN school right now, and she's still sober to this day because we took a chance on her, because my boss is amazing, and he gave me the opportunity to have the ability to pro bono people's treatment, to pay for their treatment. And so we don't do that very often, because we can't give everybody away their treatment for free, because it's a business. But whenever we can help people, we do it. And so that is a great example of somebody who followed exactly what we told them to do. They did Suboxone for, like I said, about 5 months, 6 months, and then did like 4 or 5 shots of Sublocade and have been sober ever since. So she's living proof that you can get on this medication and change your whole life. And now, like I said, she's going to be a nurse. She's literally going to college to become a nurse. And I'm really, really proud of her. So anyways, I had to feed my spider yesterday. Y'all want to see him? Where you at? There he is. I still have him. His name is, oh wow, he's looking so skinny. I fed him yesterday. Why didn't he eat that worm? Maybe he's been getting ready to molt, but I'll show y'all. His name is Oreo, right there. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about Suboxone, and if you have any questions, please comment your questions down below, and I will make a pre-recorded video just answering y'all's questions. Okay, so this is a finished makeup look. I'm going to go down to the office and see if I can't get somebody up here to get my damn fire thingy changed, because it's about to drive me insane. All right, love you guys.